All right. Hello, my friends. Today's Revit tip video comes from a request from one of my comments in the below. And you guys can put comments below in this YouTube video if you want. And just ask for something that you're dealing with in Revit. And I'll do my best to either answer it directly in the comments right below it, with a reply, or make a video. So anyways, this guy asked me, he said, let's just suppose I wanted to know what the square footage was, or the square footage of all the windows that are facing north, or the square footage of all the windows facing south, east, west. And I know this can come in if you're doing LEED calculations, that you can take the overall square footage of the face of the building and then find out what percentage the glazing is on that face if you know the square footage of the windows that are on that building. I mean, on that face, north side, south side, whatever. All right, so that's where we're going today. I'm going to show you how to make a quick parameter that you toss into Revit that applies to windows that will give you the calculated square footage of the windows facing any direction that you say those windows are on, like south. Okay, so here we go. Let me share my screen and we will go see what's going on around here. Share my screen with you. Here we go again. Here we go again. And how come no Revit? Oh, there's Revit. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here's our fantastic little building, right? Okay, we all know and love this little building. One of these days I'm going to have to do an addition to this because this building's been fairly the same for quite some time, but I don't know what to do yet. We don't have the funding yet for an addition, so we'll just leave it as is. But for right now, we need to calculate how much square footage is on this south face. Now, how do I know this is south? Just so happens. Let me move my face down here. You see this little view cube that you got on your screen there, okay? It kind of rotates around when you're rotating in 3D. But it has, look at this, west, there's a W, there's an S, E, and I bet you on the other side of this little cube is an N. Let's go around there, wait for it. Yes, there's a little N on the other side. This, if your building is oriented correctly, and if you've watched one of my other videos that sets up north, south, east, west, then you'll know which this little thing is accurate if you have set up your orientation. So let's just assume you've already done that. You could click on this little S over here and it will orient your building to the south face, okay? So if I look at it, I can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 10 windows. But for LEED calculations, they do not care how many windows you have. They want to know the square footage and what percentage that is of your overall. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we go. We're going to make a schedule that schedules windows, and it also groups them based on whether they're north, south, east, or west first. And then we're going to tell the schedule to calculate the square footage of just those in the north and report that number to us. Okay, and then we'll be done. So here we go. I'm going to go up to architecture. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to view. I was just seeing if you were listening. Okay, we're going to go to the view tab, and we're going to click on schedules and click this top one, schedules and quantities. Okay, and when it comes up, it's right behind my picture and I have to move it. So here we go. This is going to be a window schedule. So I'm going to scroll down the possible categories, and I'm going to pick windows. I think of it there. I'm going to pick windows. And I have a window schedule that just lists the type of window, and it lists the square, the height and the width of the window and the manufacturer, and it lists blah, blah, blah. But that's not what this schedule is going to talk about, the typical stuff that's in a window schedule. No, this one is going to talk about square footage of the orientation. So I'm going to put that in. Orientation SF. That stands for square footage. Okay. Orientation square footage. And I'm say, okay. And then it puts it over here. So I have to move my face again. So here we go. What we need is, let's just say we need the type of window it is. That would be nice. Okay. Which type of window? And then we're going to need, watch this, we're going to need the height, bam, and the width, bam. And we need the window's orientation, whether it's north, south, east, or west. That's not in here, dude. I can't find it. Well, that's why we're going to make a new parameter that works for Windows, okay? So here we go, look at this. That little button right there in the middle is a new parameter, and I can hit new parameter. And this, it's automatically going to apply itself to Windows because I'm in a window schedule, okay? So here we go. Orientation of a window, okay? Well, that sounds good enough to me. Each window, even though it's like a type A window, it could be on the north, south, east, or west. So this parameter has to stay an instance parameter because this window could be on the south, but an identical one could be on the north. You with me? Okay. Now it's not a parameter of length. So we need to switch it to text so we can type whatever we want. We're going to type the word north, south, east, or west. Okay. I'm going to say okay. So look, orientation of window is now it's a parameter and it's associated with Windows. So I'm going to move it up because that's the most important thing right now in our building. Okay, let me just, in our schedule. I'm going to say, okay, dude. And when it comes up, here's what we've got. And I'm just going to click the C line here and say, align it center. That looks good. And the D, align it center so that things look a little nice here. Okay. I've got these different windows that I have on different levels and I've named them whatever. Okay. In fact, gosh, that's bothering me, the type. Maybe the family name is what I really want. So I'm going to go back to my fields. I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to tell it family, the family and type, not just the type, family and type. Let's go and get rid of type. So, oops, I'm putting all kinds of stuff. Finish, no. Type, no. Okay, so let's look back at our schedule. There we go. That's more like it. I've got a double hung window and it's a 3 foot for whatever, but orientation, I don't have any orientations because the schedule has no idea. In fact, Revit has no idea. Let me go back to 3D. Revit has no idea which windows are facing north and which ones are facing south. It has no idea, but you do. So when you are in the south elevation, you can click the windows, work with me here. Click the windows one at a time and using control, you can select them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Be careful not to click on the wall or the downspout or any other object. If you do, you can just hit shift and get that thing out of your selection set. So we have 10 items here. And if you look over to the right here, you'll notice there is a category right here called orientation of window. I just made that a minute ago. And now it has applied itself to every window in the project. So these are on the south. So I'm just going to type south. Okay, done. Just like that. Just type south and hit apply. And now it just pushed that to every one of the windows on the south. And now I'm going to switch around. Look at this. I'm going to click on west and it spins me around to the west. And I'm just got my face. I've got my face down here at the bottom, but it's okay. I can handle it. So look at this. I'm just going to pick window and holding control. 2, 3. I got my 4 windows that are on that elevation. Okay. and I just change those to west. Okay, you with me? And then spin around, gonna make sure, north side, click on north, so I don't get confused. Just use the little, use this little cube, this view cube, it helps. And now I'm on the north side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all on the north. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to go back to the east. I'm going to click on east. Okay. And I'm going to click on the 1, holding down control, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why I counted them. It's irrelevant. And now I'm typing east. East. Okay. Now let's go back to our schedule. And you'll notice something. Bam! Every one of them except one has an orientation to it. I'm like, which one did I miss? I can't have that. So I'm going to click on that. And when I put my cursor in there, I'm going to come up here to highlight in model. And what it does, it says there's no open views to show me that. Okay. So it opened one, close. So that is the window. Oh, I have got this window up in, yeah, that's something to, I've got this window in a place, it's up on a special layer. It's up on a special layer way above my building. This is an extra aside. I have all my window types are up there and I don't want them in my schedule. So since they're up on a level, I'm going to come here. This window here, this double hung window, I don't want it. And there's another one up at the top. Those two, I want that. The orientation is like OUT, out of schedule. I don't want that in the schedule. And this one, out of schedule also. So I just gave the orientation of a couple of windows that I'm using just for my my elevation view, my window elevations. Anyway, I know this is a little bit of an aside for you guys, but if you give them an I gave it out of schedule as a parameter type. So what I'm going to do is run a quick filter on this to get those out of this schedule. So I go to filter. And now on my filter, I can sort this. I'm going to filter it by orientation. If it does not equal, and I'll do the drop down, if it does not equal out of schedule, it will stay. Okay. So I'm going to say, okay, now look, boom, those two disappear. So that's just a little trick to get unwanted objects out of your schedule. You just give them a parameter and filter it out. Okay. Now these are all jumbled, you might notice. South, east, west, south, south, east, west, and some norths down here. They're all mixed up. So let's sort this thing. I'm going to move my face over here a little bit. I'm going to sort and group this thing, okay? I want to sort this by the orientation, and I'm going to put a blank line in between each one so that they're all separated. So I say, okay, now look, boom, east, north, south, west. It has grouped them. That's good. But I don't have the square footages of those yet, and I need that. I'm not going to sit here and do the math. I need Revit to do the math for me so I don't mess up. Try to eliminate as much human error as you possibly can. So here we go. I'm going to make up a brand new a brand new parameter that doesn't exist yet. And so I'm going to come over here to fields, and I want you to just observe this. Watch this. Height and width are what we're going to use to combine and multiply together to get an area of the window. And then we're going to say, give us a total of those areas on the north, south, east, and west. So here we go. I would like a brand new parameter right here. You can click on new parameter, but don't, because that's a normal parameter that goes embedded into every single one of the windows. What I want here is this next button. It is a calculated parameter, calculated by information that's already here present from one of the other parameters. So I'm going to click that button. And what the little calculated parameter, come on, where is it? Did I even click it? I'm trying to figure out where. Oh, it's behind my face. That was funny. This little dialog box came up behind my picture. Maybe it's not funny for you, but it was funny for me. Okay, we're going to name this new parameter. We're going to call it SF of window. Window. SF of window. Now the formula we're going to use. What if I said I would like width times, times is a star, height. See, you got, and I spelled height wrong. So in order, this has to be perfect. It has to be the exact name and spelling, and I believe even following the, whether it's a capital letter or not. It's case sensitive. This thing is important. When you go to use this formula, this is going to say, I don't know what these are. Watch. Okay. It throws up and it says, I don't know what width is. And it's going to say, I don't know what height is either. It doesn't, because it's case sensitive. So that you don't mess up, don't try to type the names of your parameters. Use this, hit delete, get rid of that, clear this field. Use these three little dots over here. So when you use the three little dots, it brings up all the possible parameters that it could use to combine. So I'm going to say height. I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to put a space and a star, which means times, and a space, and I'm going to hit that button again and hit width. So I didn't have to worry about the case sensitivity and typing. It took care of it for me. So I've got a new calculated value that's going to be in my schedule. It's the square footage of the window, and it's using height and width. I'm going to say, okay. And it says inconsistent units. Oh, yeah, it's not a number. It is an area. Boom. Make sure your units are correct. I'm going to say, okay. And now it's going to work. Move my face again. I'm going to say, okay. So look what we just got. We got a new column that says, I'm going to align it to the center, that this particular window is 19 square feet, and this one's 16, and this one's 19, and it alternates back and forth because I've got A-type windows and B-type windows in this project. I think there's even another one in there that might be a C-type window, but maybe not. Anyway, this is not giving me the total yet, and I need a total right here at the bottom of the square foot column. So here we go. I'm going to go over here to my sorting and grouping. Okay. And what I want is I want this to give me a footer underneath that lists the totals, okay, of the column. But watch this. When I hit OK, how come it doesn't do it? Look, it's not giving me a total at the bottom. It's because I think I've said this in another video. Revit's not going to do extra work. It's got enough work to do. It's a database and it's constantly calculating things, but it doesn't do extra work in your schedules unless you tell it to. So here we go. We're going to go to formatting, and we're going to go right here. We're going to say the SS of SF, which is the square footage of the windows. It says right here that it's not doing any calculation of that parameter. But I'm going to do this drop down and say, I want you to calculate the totals. That's what we want to set it on. So when I hit OK, then Revit does the work. And if you would look right here, let me move my face out of the way. The eastern facing windows total 105 square feet. The north facing windows equals 102 square feet. Can you see how that works, people? This is brilliant. Now all you got to do is get the square footage of the face of your building, and then you can do a percentage of the windows for your LEED calculation. So that is right there, my friends, how you, and I'm coming back to you, here we go. That is how you set a parameter to the windows for orientation, and how you make a schedule with an extra little parameter in there to do a calculated field to get the total square footage of windows on that face. All right. I hope that helps with your LEED calculations, as well as just knowing how to put orientation parameters on your windows. All right, and that goes for anything. I guess you can have a north-facing door schedule if you wanted. Whatever. All right. Have a fantastic day and happy Reviting. Bye-bye.